I write songs. That is my job. I still don't know how that happened. But I'm really glad it did, because there's nothing I like doing more than writing a song. I love taking life in its raw and spontaneous form and repackaging that into tidy little bundles of melody and harmony and poetry, and tossing them back out into the world and seeing who or what catches them. I love it. But songwriting isn't exactly what I want to talk about today. It's my reference point for a bigger conversation with regards to creativity and what drives creativity, that being inspiration. Because we could all use a little inspiration in whatever medium we so happen to be dabbling in. But it's slippery stuff. It's hard to find. And it's all too common that we greet our blank canvases with a lack of it. And in its place, a little fear, a little anxiety, a little cough, a little preemptive judgment, a sprinkling of dread. This can result in writer's block or forced productivity, where you're churning out stuff you don't truly believe in, but you try to convince yourself that it's great, and to confirm that, you play it for a friend or a lover, and they say, it's nice. No, it's the worst. It's nice is not nice. We don't want it's nice. We want, well, speechlessness. And the soul to stir and the heart to flutter and the mind to be blown wide open. We want the magic, baby. How to produce this elusive stuff of magic? Well, my message today is that we don't. We take that burden off of ourselves and give it back to the world. We obliterate this notion that we're responsible for our own genius and denounce our ego, and instead start viewing ourselves as but humble cogs in a creative machine, small little pieces of a grander, abstract, cosmic, creative agenda that we can't even begin to understand. And the less we do, the better it is, because magic hinges on mystery. What the hell am I talking about? Let's use an example. Examples are good. It is said that Beethoven's Fifth Symphony was born from a knock at the door. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. You know that song? Whether or not it's true, I like the story. I like picturing old Ludwig stooped at the piano, just lost in his craft, that hair vibrating, there's a knock at the door. And instead of seeing it as a disruption, he tilts his perspective and takes it as a cue from the muses and the angels, and thus produces one of the most epic and recognizable classical motifs in the history of the earth. But he didn't do it all by himself. He was but a collaborator. He needed the fist on the wood and the arm attached, the message it carried. Most of all, he needed his perspective. Not to compare myself to Beethoven by any stretch, but one of many small encounters I've had with this act of transmuting normalcy into artistry involves a little bird chirping outside my window one morning when I was trying to sleep. It was more of a caw. It was a two-note caw on repeat. Rather obnoxious. But after some time, I realized I wasn't going to beat him, although I wanted to, literally. So I thought I'd join him, collaborate, peel myself out of bed at the ungodly hour of 11 a.m., which for a musician, let alone a lead singer, is like way before dawn. Grab my guitar. There's a guitar. Found the notes. Oof. That's it. Beethoven, eat your heart out. And reacted to my experience, and this is what came out. How long? How long? How long before we break this? How long? How long before we will destroy this? Oh, destroy this we will. I don't know, it's just a thing. I haven't done anything with it, but I do love it. And I can say that because it's not mine, it's the birds. So if it doesn't connect, I'll just blame it on Tweety. But it's there, and I look forward to pursuing that idea. But really what I'm talking about is just birdsong. A knock at the door, a baby crying, the jamboree of metal and steel on a construction site. The beautiful, ugly, poetic obscenities a lover hurls at you in a quarrel. Jot that stuff down. It's gold. He or she may get angry that you're transcribing their agony and throw a plate, but hey, take note. Take note of what might be a beautiful collision of ceramic on wall. Maybe you didn't know you wanted to paint the moment the plate breaks. Until then. I mean, just stop, close your eyes, and picture that. It's lovely. And in doing so, my day just got better. Maybe it's the scene in your movie or the missing page in your book. The point is, get out of your head, out of your skin, out of your ego, out of the front door, into the world with a new heightened sense of creative awareness, wildly receptive to the cues of the angels and the muses. You may find there is an abundance of support, guidance, and collaboration to be had. You may find there's an infinite row of creative springboards from which to jump into your work, just simply inspired, you know? But here's the catch. If you don't look, it's not there. But should you, and I hope you do, you gotta keep up. So here's what you do. At the end of the week, Sunday night, you go through them all, however they're kept. The voice memos, napkins, maybe you write them down on a sock. There could be 500 or 48 or 17 or 12. You pick the best 5. You do this every week. At the end of the month, you have 20. You then pick the best 5 from that 20. It's fair to presume these 5 ideas are potent. You wouldn't have jotted them down unless they stirred your little soul. And on top of that, they made the cut twice. So you gotta ask yourself, what would you rather greet your blank canvas with? A little satchel of fear and anxiety? Or a grab bag of Scavenger magic? And what's nice about these nuggets, they're little portals to the outside world. People, places, things, creatures, isms, anecdotes, synchronicity, serendipity. They foster interconnection. They validate the hippie mantra, we are all one, which needs validation. They foster empathy. And empathy is a vital tool in songwriting and art and creativity, life, love. It's a buzzword for a reason. A story that I like with regards to art and empathy relates to the old Christmas carol, O Holy Night. You know the one? Just in case you don't. Fall on your knees and hear the angels' voices. Clap. was born from poetry that was adapted for music. And the initial poem was written by a non-religious wino. And I like picturing this guy as a bit of a cynic, as any drunk atheist ought to be. But he employed empathy to great success. He wrote about this big thing that he didn't really believe in, but believers would sing gloriously in the churches and the choirs for the ages to come. I think it's kind of cool. And I tell this story as it relates to a song that I wrote that began when CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, asked my band, Mother Mother, to do a Christmas song for their Yuletide concert series. As you could guess, we did Oh Holy Night, but like a rock banger version with a crushing guitar riff. And the gig went well, and years later, as I was writing our 5th album, perusing the archives in those little batches of 5s, I resurrected our version of Oh Holy Night, and thought, well, the guitar riff is stunning, if I do say so myself. But I didn't do it, the Dead Atheist did it, right? So I scrapped the Christmas, I killed Christmas, and I took the riff and wrote a new song around it. And I will now play for you a little clip of how that turned out. This is called Get Out the Way. And that song did pretty good for us. It charted well on radio in Canada. It's fun to play live. Just kept the train on the tracks. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful to the Dead Atheist, to the CBC, to Santa Claus. Grateful, happy, humble to be part of that little collaboration, birthing a song that just made my life and my band's career a little bit better. But beyond any of that, I just like it. And it's nice to know that something was just born out of the right place, just raw inspiration. Another example of this kind of thing is when I was sitting in a coffee shop, and that old Cole Porter song came on the jukebox. Ooh. Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. I thought, what a snappy, clever little tune. It might be kind of neat to do a modern day version of that, but like a rock banger. And a little more cheeky, like, don't do it. Don't fall in love. That'd be a stupid thing to do. And thus another song was born, of which I will play you a clip right now.
Mommy did it, Daddy did it, funny little monkeys in the zoo do it, stupid does it, ugly do it, only the unlucky of us get to do it. Let's fall in love.
Again, I'm grateful for this song. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I'm grateful for that little chunk of music. It did really well for us. Kept the train on the tracks. So thank you, Mr. Porter. And if none of what I'm saying makes sense or resonates, you could just follow his advice and fall in love. Because that inevitably leads to heartbreak. The heartbroken have good senses of humor. Yeah, baby, heartbreak. It's fertile soil for creativity. I, in fact, am going through my own heartbreak right now. Yeah, it hurts. It's brutal. There's a school of piranhas in my chest. But I thank each one of them because it's birthing song. And the funny thing about heartbreak is you talk so much about it, your friends know, your family knows, and you wake up in the morning to these little texts. And how are you doing today? Oh, it's still so very painful, but I'm moving forward. Oh, that's all you can do, honey, yeah. For the first time in so long, I was finally able to see the beauty in a shaft of sunlight. Oh, that's good. Just keep moving towards the light. You bet, Mom. So anyway, me and my little bitty broken heart were driving down the road just the other day, and a friend sends me a text message with a YouTube link entitled Love and Loss. It's like, oh God. And then, oh God, maybe it'll help. So I put it on, and immediately tuned out the guy talking about self-care and rebirth or whatever, and was instead drawn to the somber yet hopeful piano music playing in the background. I could kind of feel the inspiration bubbling up a little bit. Started humming, singing, soon I was squealing like a pig. Gotta get out the voice memo, this is that magic stuff. Let's capture this moment. And so I did, and I will now very reluctantly share with you this moment in time. It's cringeworthy. Why are you clapping? I'm so brave. But these things are supposed to be cringeworthy. That it's part of the fun and the charm of going out there non-judgmentally with a childlike curiosity, thrusting yourself into the chaotic arena of scavenging for magic. It doesn't have to go anywhere. You don't even have to care if it does or if it's good. You're just collecting it. Sort it out later. So anyway, I got to where I was going, which was a friend's house. They have a piano. There's a piano behind that curtain, I swear to God. They also have small children. So while they're taking care of their pet humans, I have my own little baby to nurture. So I'm at the piano working out this idea, finding it. Okay, let's capture this. Voice memo. I'll now less reluctantly play you this second stage of evolution. I took the melody down an octave. So at this stage, it's something I want to invest in. It's time to take it to my studio here in Vancouver and begin the dirty work, the architecture, the lyricism, the framework. You know, it's where you put the clothing on the naked body to suit its personality best. That type of work is different work than the scavenging, but it's where your findings come to life and you give them purpose. So, I'm gonna leave you guys with where I'm at with this song. It's far from finished, but it's light years away from that painful little outburst in the car. So here goes nothing. This one is called Until It Doesn't Hurt.
get into trouble. I wanna tear all my virtues down and pour gas on the rubble. I wanna burn them to the ground. I wanna scorn my lover. I wanna tear all her pictures down and pour gas on the rubble. I wanna burn her to the ground. I wanna fight, I wanna bite, I wanna swallow all the light. But I'ma stay right here, I'ma stay inside. I'ma just sit tight for another night. If I can't make it right, then I won't make it worse. I'ma just sit tight until it doesn't hurt. Swallow all the light, but I'ma stay right here. I'ma stay inside. I'ma just sit tight for another night. If I can't make it right, then I won't make it worse. I'ma just sit tight until it doesn't hurt, until it doesn't hurt.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. If you hear a knock on the door, don't be afraid to answer it, but not in the way you're used to. Take care.